to talk about it, Brett. Cam Newton's future with the Carolina Panthers is no longer in doubt. Newton agreed to a 5-year contract extension with the team, keeping him in town until 2020. I love that picture. The deal is reportedly worth $103.8 million, making number one the third highest paid quarterback in football, only behind Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. That brings us to our question of the night. Is Cam Newton worth $103.8 million? Let's kick this one around. Matt Harris from the Matt and Ramona Show on 107.9 The Link. FoxSports.com writer Brett Jensen and comedian QCB from WFNZ Sports Radio. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I think Cam is absolutely worth this. I think he deserves this, and I think the Panthers had no other option but to do this.
They didn't, and because when you're average...
Brett said about to explode.
When you're an average quarterback in the NFL, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. And they really had to do this. Maybe not for the amount they did, but pretty close. I mean, we were reasonably close after Tannehill and Dalton and all these other losers got money too. So I don't think they had a choice.
And by the way, Russell Wilson tonight is like, woo, woo.
Right. Well, the Seahawks might play hardball more than the Panthers.
Morgan, we don't do that no more. So, that one out with woo, woo, woo.
Hey, go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
I'm gonna let it slide. But go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Brett, take it away.
Are we ready now?
They should have let him walk?
First of all, they had him for 3 more years. He couldn't go anywhere. They had him for 3 more years.
Right.
This contract's for 5 extra. They can actually, the way the contract's going to be written, they could probably get rid of him after 3 years.
Well, they'd have to franchise him.
Yeah, they franchise him. Well, they had him this year. They can franchise him that year, and then the year after that as well.
If he doesn't hold out.
Okay.
No. Well,
is he worth it?
Is he worth it? I will say this. Any athlete, I've never begrudged any athlete for getting what they get paid. I mean, so many people say, oh, they're not worth this, they're not worth that. You know, when's the last time anyone complained about Tom Cruise getting $35 million for a movie? Nobody ever says about that, but they will, complain about Cam Newton making $20 million a year. All that being said, compared to his contemporaries, I think he's getting overpaid from what his peers are making. When you're talking about a guy who's not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, he's better than half the quarterbacks, but he's not better than half the quarterbacks.
What do the Panthers do then?
Yeah.
What do the Panthers do then?
Well, I mean,
they need a quarterback.
Yeah, they signed him, and look, given the market of today, they did the right thing by signing him. I don't have a problem with him signing him. I didn't have a problem with the $100 million. I mean, that's...
Mr. Richardson, are you listening? Brett says he didn't have a problem with it, so you can sleep easy tonight.
Well, you know what? They should do more listening to me. I promise you that.
We won't know Cam Newton's worth it until a couple years down the line. I mean, if he wins 2 Super Bowls in the next 5 years, yes, he's worth it. If he wins 1 Super Bowl, yes, he's worth it. But who else is going to give it to? Derek Clipboard Anderson? Like, who was you going to give it to?
So you're talking about Anderson who went 2-0 last year?
2-0, yeah, give him $100
Derek Anderson who went undefeated last year?
Derek Anderson is a fantastic backup quarterback. We're lucky to have him.
Cam Newton who went 5-8-1 last year?
He has really big feet.
He beat West Charlotte the Independence. Okay, he's 2-0. But Cam is the best offensive player of the team. You had to give him his money. So
they're paying him for what he will do in the future. A lot of times they're paying quarterbacks on what they already did.
There you go.
So a guy wins, like Joe Flacco wins the Super Bowl, he gets paid on what he did. Cam is getting paid on what he might do.
Well, that's exactly right. It's all about might.
Beyond Cam Newton, obviously this is a great deal for Cam. A lot of people are criticizing Gettleman for this move.
The thing about Gettleman, this goes against everything that he's done in the past because he's been extremely shrewd. He's been extremely shrewd.
How is this not shrewd?
Shrewd, giving someone $60 million, overpaying in the guaranteed contract money.
You always front end these contracts,
but not for $60 million.
And the cap structure is going to change, and this is going to all level out.
Everyone just figured it would be like $45, $46, $47 million. No one ever saw $60 million coming.
And ever since Gettleman came to town, people have been kind of bashing him for his decision makers.
I think he's been dead on with all his decisions.
When he released Steve Smith,
he's been fantastic.
When he released Steve Smith, the Panthers fan base went nuts.
It was the right move.
I'm just telling you what happened.
Absolutely, because it was the right move, and Panthers fans have to learn that this is part of the business of the NFL.
But when Steve go have a Pro Bowl year like he did, and then when he did to the Panthers when he played them, had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but everyone did that to the Panthers last year. What's that saying?
And look, Gettleman.
That was one Steve Smith game. He didn't have a huge season.
He still went to the Pro Bowl.
Gettleman was with the Giants when Eli Manning took them to the Super Bowl, to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Eli Manning is comparable to what Cam Newton does on the field. Statistically, he is. They built a strong defense, or a strong offense and a strong defense around Eli Manning. They're going to do the same thing with the Carolina Panthers. And that's why Dave Gettleman is shrewd and continues to be shrewd.
Yeah, but they still, the $60 million guaranteed is too much. It's just too much. I mean,
because you want some of it?
What was Tannehill?
Doesn't everybody?
Well, when you say what somebody's
Tannehill was in the mid-40s.
Yeah. And when you say what is somebody worth, is it real? I don't think we're talking like literally.
Right.
Is he worth that much money?
Right.
It's in context.
Comparatively speaking to his peers, other quarterbacks.
I want to read one tweet to you, and then we got to move on. This is from John Sane at JP Sane on Twitter. He says there are 32 teams and only about 18 to 20 good quarterbacks. So you either pay him or you play against him.
Well, I don't have a problem. It's just the $60 million was just like, whoa, he's getting $67 million over 3 years, the most paid over a 3-year span in NFL history.
Do you know how many Capri pants that can buy?
That's exactly
a lot of Capri pants. A lot of
exactly right.
Right.
You're already jealous, aren't you?
He might even get some public speaking classes with that extra money.
Oh, bless his heart.